Hello friends, I am Kanchan from Akulmach Technologies and welcome to our show. Today we have Sitesh Srivastav as our guest. You know, Sitesh has deep interest in corporate training and he's closely associated with radio broadcasting. So welcome to the show, Sitesh.
Thank you, Kanchan. It's nice always to talk to you. We know very interesting subject we have today. How have you been doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, enjoying the chill weather of northern India. And when we are fighting with COVID, and we have yet another very dangerous disease, AIDS. And the World AIDS Day is being celebrated every year on 1st December. And today also we are celebrating this day. And this day's theme is Global Solidarity Resilient Services. So let's talk about this dreaded disease and how we have been successful in coping up with this disease yet again.
Yeah, Kanchan, this is something that it was a taboo to talk about HIV almost a decade back or so, and in some cases it is still is, but I got to really see this side of the severity of it, HIV, when I went to work in Africa. And from there on, I have been closely watching, observing, and figuring out the reasons. And I saw it in Africa. Then I realized that it is also prevalent in many, many countries. India happens to be number three or probably number two in the cases of active HIV cases in the world. So to celebrate, I mean, rather than not celebrate, to sensitize the general public about this health disaster, I would say, it is important for us to understand and talk about the World AIDS Day and why it is celebrated, why it is basically sensitized, and who are the people who are affected and how can they get help once they have it,
Yeah,
right?
for our viewers, I would like to little go deeper and tell what this HIV is. So HIV is a retrovirus which attacks a specific category of immune system cell in the body identified as CD4, helper cell or T cell. So once HIV destroys this particular cell, it becomes difficult for the body to combat other infection. When HIV infects a cell, it attaches the host cell first and fuses it with it, and HIV bears single strand RNA, which is genetic material, and it opposes to the stranded DNA, which a human cell carries. So in a way, it is quite a dreaded disease if somebody gets it, and life become really terrible to cope up with these kind of infections, because there are many infections also along with HIV we get it.
Yes, Kanchan. And as I said that, uh, we live in today COVID-19 or this coronavirus timings, and suddenly the whole focus has been shifted to this pandemic, coronavirus. But, HIV has been a pandemic all the while it has been discovered. And out of the 34 million HIV positive people worldwide, 69% live in sub-Sahara Africa. There are roughly 23.8 million infected people in all of Africa, and 91% of the world's HIV positive children live in Africa. More than 1 million adults and children die every year from HIV AIDS in Africa alone. So I was a part of that world in South Africa, from where I could see, observe the Southern African nations. And it has intrigued me that despite so much of knowledge and wisdom and information and also help is available through a United Nations AIDS program. In India, we have our national AIDS control, uh, many countries have this kind of health programs and government information programs. But still, HIV is something that doesn't stop increasing, and it is something that I always wonder whether it is too much of information is being helped by the people for the people, or it is something that, despite so much of budgets being allocated for HIV/AIDS program, we have so many people who are unaware of it, and they keep doing those risky things that basically make them affected. What do you say?
Yes, I feel that health is a human right, you see. And though who is already doing a global health campaign, and this organization had been doing, but I feel is that approximately 85% of pregnant and breastfeeding women living with HIV has not been, I think maybe educating them is not being done properly, and taking care of these patients are not being done properly, though awareness is there. So are we on a right track? People are following the guidelines which are being stated by WHO and other organizations, because what, as you said, 13 million people are still living with HIV positive, and though globally 12.6 million living, and they have access to United Nations guidelines. But are these people and organizations helping to curb this disease or educate in how to live after when somebody is infected with HIV?
So, Kanchan, I think when you talk about education about this dreaded disease, it all is something that is still is under wraps when it comes to about open education about it. I have never seen in any of the offices or any of the corporates any health programs coming to the corporates to talk about it. I've never heard about any health programs or camps being set in the universities and colleges to talk about it to the youngsters, the students, and forget about the school level at all. But I will tell you something that I have only observed and discussed within while I was in Africa. I have worked in Africa. In many of the offices I have seen, there are condom dispensing machines in the corporate offices, in the banks, in the IT companies, and and they are refilled every Monday. And many years back, if this was something like I was surprised to see, and that is a very bold approach by any human resources or the company management to address it so openly. And I have seen it in South Africa, and something to talk about it very, very openly. It is not about educating somebody who is affected. It is about educating people so that they don't get affected, so they don't get into those risky businesses. And if you see closely from the India's perspective, the northeast states have a large population: Mizoram, Nagaland, Manipur. And uh, there are some practices that needs to be educated about. If health, as you said, Kanchan, health is a right of everyone, and people would come and they will also argue, yes, sexual activity is also a right of people, but how do you do it, and how do you safely do it, and how to avoid it? Can it be completely eradicated, like we had the measles or the polio? Can it be eradicated to that level? So probably there needs to be more open dialogue not only with the affected people, not only in the hospitals, but in the public spaces. And I think there is a lot that needs to be done in our subcontinent, in Africa, of course, and in the southern part of the Africa, Botswana, Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe. I mean, there are 15 to 29 years of people. It is so surprising and sometimes so unfortunate to see these. But sometimes I feel that the education, the budgets, everything is being pushed, but it is not being discussed in the open forums. The way the pandemic, this coronavirus, is being discussed, I would think that there should be, we should discuss in the public life about HIV the same way we are discussing this coronavirus.
Yes, you have very well put the point across that though allocation of budgets are being done by the government organizations, but the education and discussion on this particular subject or many other infections, they are not being taken seriously somehow, especially when we talk about general public. So now at this point, one question arises is, are we a responsible race? Are we working towards sustaining the future of children by getting education about these pandemics and eradicating and taking care about these pandemics? Are we so serious and responsible race?
I think, Kanchan, more or less, we have not been responsible to give your answer to a very, very straightforward. I thank you that you asked me this question. I think we do not understand the seriousness of this, especially the AIDS part of it, because it is related to a basic human right, fundamental right to sex. And therefore, I think we don't understand the seriousness of it. We don't understand that we are impacting not only a community or a person or a family, we are impacting few decades of someone and the stigma around it. And then we go and we meet some affected person who does not say. In many countries they can choose to have a pseudonym and not disclose about it. And then we have a lot of stigma and social taboo around HIV and AIDS. And that's the reason I think the taboo, the stigma, the social discardness needs to it has to be removed. I think a lot of discussions are happening around LGBTQ and queer groups, and because so many of these are interrelated. So there needs to be a campaign. There needs to be senior people. There needs to be politicians. It is not the job of only of the doctors. A lot of campaigns need to be taken forward by the youngsters, the youth icons, and talk about it. I can think of one organization of like National AIDS Organization of India or United Nations AIDS. They should come to Kaun Banega Karodpati on the Friday episode in the Karmveer, and they should talk about what is happening about the AIDS and India, what is statistics of AIDS and India, and how National AIDS Control Organization is working. That is something, the platform that is needed. Every Friday, KBC brings such kind of Karmveer. So yes, it needs to be spoken about.
So, according to the World Health Organization, there's a breakdown in essential HIV services due to COVID-19 and it's threatening. We must fight with a passion, as you said, about any, not only AIDS or HIV, but now COVID is also a pandemic which is going on, and many people are not taking serious steps to really safeguard themselves and the society. So we must take up a center stage in the societies, in the communities to really discuss about the health problems, and the health systems. So I think that is very, very essential at this point of time, because now today is for COVID today. Tomorrow there will be many more pandemic there will be threatening to the world and to the people. So I think this is the right time to take seriously about the health, because that is a human right, and whatever taboos associated in any of these diseases, we should eradicate, we should understand and get more information, and accordingly we should act. Like
Correct.
yeah, so like HIV, there are so many taboos are associated, but and they are not suitable for that kind of disease. And for we take a COVID also, people have currently, though the lockdown is there, but people are taking it so easy because they feel that it will not get it, but that is not the case. So we have to discuss
Correct.
the health issues, and health, these are very serious issues. We can't take them lightly.
Correct. Of course. When I was looking at the India's number, Kanchan, I realized that compared to the neighboring countries, India has made good progress in reducing the new HIV infections by 50%, by half, since 2001. And despite the free antiretroviral treatment or ART being available, uptake of it remains very, very low. For many people face difficulty in accessing those clinics in India where they get those antiretroviral treatment. So India is doing good about it, but I'm saying that we need our public space celebrities to come and talk about it. It should not just remain as a lip service by writing few lines on Twitter and just talking about it in a television and prime time. We need a campaign around it, and I hope in today's social media world, we should use the social media to do awareness to reduce these things. It comes for free. This kind of awareness needs to be reduced, and I think this pandemic has given us an opportunity to open up and talk about a lot of things, and I think that should be used to reduce and probably kill other pandemics in our life. And the biggest pandemic that needs to be killed is our inhibition talking about it.
Correct, correct. So I feel that all the viewers will think about it and try to propagate good words, informative words regarding the pandemics, diseases, and take care of themselves and the society. It was good to talk to you, Sitesh. We'll meet again tomorrow with a very interesting topic. Till then, bye bye. Take care.
Thank you, Kanchan. Have a great day ahead.